being able to play this game is an expression of love for yourself, for your community, for the game, but it's an expression of love.
It's just a game to some people, but it wasn't to Anishinaabe. It wasn't to the Oneida or Six Nations people. You know, we really love this game like it's a part of ourselves. And I think it's so important to know the origin of what you're doing and respect it.
Just see what he feels like. If you guys have never picked up this stick, this is our style stick. So we're trying to really get people more familiar with this style, and eventually every res, playing against every res in years in the future, because you guys know that this is gonna be an Olympic sport, right? In 2028, it's gonna be Olympics in LA, lacrosse, and this is our sport.
Baaga'adowewin is a Great Lakes style traditional lacrosse game for Anishinaabe folks here in Michigan, and it's the oldest game in North America. This is the medicine game, the creator's game. This is something that is not a game really, this is a ceremony. So there's sports, and then there's this time to connect and have a ceremonial connection on a spiritual level. This just happens to be through the lens or through what looks like an athletic event, which it is, but it's really rooted from the moment that we make a stick to the moment that we're circling up and calling out to the creator for a spiritual reason. So that spiritual aspect is what sets it apart from any other sport, and that's the reason that I think it's why it's so necessary and needed, and why I love it so much, and why I think people gravitate and understand the feeling that they get playing, they keep coming back to, because it's different than other sports.
I was working as a gym attendant, and we had a workshop there to make sticks, so I just jumped in, and once I started playing, I just fell in love with it and kind of became like obsessed with it.
So when we play traditional lacrosse and we throw the ball up and we all yell for a creator, that's a ceremony to me. I feel like when I was playing in university, it wasn't really a ceremony, and I think that's where felt really disconnected. But when I was playing back at home, you know, we would play for community members, for people who were hurting. It was a ceremony, and it connected all of us spiritually.
When you dance, sing, compete, express yourself, there's something spiritual about that.
It's like connection. You're connected with everyone out on that field. You feel what they're doing, and you can like move around them, pass them the ball. You're connected with everyone and everything out there.
What may look like just a game with a stick and a ball, if you're not immersed in our culture, you are missing a lot of where that healing is. So yes, running around and getting that aerobic exercise, but really it's not just physical, it's a mental, it's a spiritual, it's emotional.
Pre-colonization, we didn't have nets. So we'll have 2 wooden posts on each side of the field. It can be, you know, about a football field long, and we don't really have boundaries or anything. We kind of just try to stay around and, you know, just having that mutual respect for each other. We don't have a referee. So just having like that respect for one another to not hurt them, but also put someone to the test.
Come on in. Everyone put your stick up right here. We want to show the creator we're playing the creator's game. All right, so I'm going to count Bejik, Nish, Nisway, and then we're all going to scream our warrior cry, okay? And then we're going to try and get the ball, and we're going to try and score. Does that sound good? Yeah? All right. Bejik, Nish, Nisway. Hey, hi, 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 hi. Hey,
This game was given to us by the Manidoog to help us. If you just come with that intention, if you got nothing else, no other skills, if you come with that teaching and say, this is given to us and we're here and we're going to use it, we're going to try to practice that, then that's the healing game. So that's one way to think about it.
It's the fastest that I found out of anything in my life that I've ever experienced to get into the flow state. And a lot of people talk about it in sports or otherwise, but instantly, from the moment I pick up the stick, it's flow state for me. I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm present, I'm not worried about the day's stress or the stories that I've heard. I'm with the creator, I'm praying.
When we're making stuff, we want to make it look as beautiful as we can. Everything we use was alive at one time, and we want to honor that spirit by respecting the way we use that item.
So when you're making a stick, you're kind of like going back to your seven grandfather teachings, and you're really connecting with that humility and respect for yourself, you know, where you're gathering. And the sticks that I've played with were made out of hickory, black ash, or white ash. I personally like black ash sticks. This is what this one's made out of. It's a little more dense than white ash, and I like that it can be a little more aerodynamic and not as flimsy.
This is something that has this personification. We recognize the spirit behind it, that this was a living, breathing entity at one point, whether it was the animal, the rawhide, or the tree that was living and breathing at one point, and that gave its life for us to continue to have more life and healing that we need.
We would use that game to sometimes settle a lot of disputes versus going to war, and it might be over like hunting or fishing land, or it might even be a way to like gamble over supplies you might need for the winter time.
Instead of having a battle and having, you know, countless of men die, we would play a lacrosse game for 3 to 5 days, and whoever won. So I feel like it's just a very healthy alternative. And also, you know, seeing all of the youth waking up and want to do it, it just creates like that healthy environment of, you know, maybe next week, like before that lacrosse game, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna start eating healthier, and it creates, you know, a healthy environment for all ages. Back in Mshkikiiwan, where we played the game, which I thought was amazing, just how the Ojibway took over the fort back in the 1760s from the British. It just shows like the power of the game. It just showed like how smart and intuitive our people were.
I like that it's becoming more common. You know, when I was younger, you know, we didn't have these games, and now we're having more and more of these games. To me, it's our spirits coming back, you know? So it's exciting because those are our people, that's what we did, and then we're doing it.
Well, I'd like to see it played like more amongst the younger kids. Like you could go out into the street and see some kids on the res playing with their sticks, making a whole game out of it. Go try it out if you see it. If you can find it anywhere, pick up a stick, start playing.
So to have something that you can be connected on a mind, body, spirit level and do something cultural, that's why I think people are drawn to it and why we need it more in our communities. So I want every single kid, particularly in tribal communities, to grow up with this game from the moment that they can walk. And so each community can start playing against each other as well, so that we have kind of tournaments and games like this between different reservations. That's what I would really like. Pie in the sky dream would be awesome.
This is ours. This is something we should cherish and hold close to our heart. So I think that, you know, advocating for people to learn the history and advocating for people to respect it is something all Anishinaabe people should be doing. You know, we talk about intergenerational trauma, like let's have generational healing. And I feel like that's what this game brings to so many communities.